History could very well be made as Impact Wrestling presents Hard to Kill, live on pay-per-view January 12th, 2020. Sami Callihan defends the Impact World Heavyweight Championship against Tessa Blanchard in an intergender match for the ages. Will Tessa Blanchard become the first female in history to hold a World Heavyweight Championship in a major wrestling promotion? Let's find out as we head into the Pro Wrestling Control Center to break down Impact Hard to Kill right now on J to Z TV. It's January 12th, 2020, and that means Impact Wrestling is presenting Hard to Kill live on pay-per-view. Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard for the Impact World title. This is big, guys. Let's get right into it. I'm J to Z TV Dad. I'll be guiding you through the breakdown, so let's get started. Kicking things off, guys, it's Ken Shamrock taking on Madman Fulton. And Shamrock is in incredible shape here. Shamrock throws some strikes to start, trying to keep Fulton at bay. But Fulton is going to end up slamming Shamrock, so Shamrock just hooks the arm looking for a submission. Fulton makes the ropes to break, but Ken Shamrock is going to end up taking him down again. And this time he grapevines the leg. But Fulton makes the ropes again. And then he's just going to slug Shamrock down. And then he hits the chin lock, buddy. Shamrock fights out. And then Fulton ends up getting crotched as he misses a running boot. And then Shamrock attacks. So Fulton just grabs his arm and falls backwards, applying a hanging armbar over the ropes. Shamrock is going to end up coming back, though, and hitting a big, free, no-touch, big plancha to the floor. But Fulton just catches him. So Shamrock slips out and then looks to legitimately German suplex Fulton right on the floor. This thing didn't look pretty at all. OVE both end up trying to interfere. So the Chriss both get ejected from the ringside area. And Fulton ends up hitting a tilt-a-whirl slam to take control. Big choke slam connects. And then he's going to go for a second one. But Shamrock blocks that one and he applies a Kimura. And it looks like Shamrock applies the Kimura for so long that it looks like Fulton's shoulder actually pops out. That's how he's going to sell it, at least. And Shamrock acts like the match should be stopped because Fulton's arm is out of the socket. They do some close-ups on the shoulder to try to establish that it's popped out. And Fulton's insisting that he can continue the match. So, and then here he comes trying to attack, actually, insisting that he can go. He tries to attack, and he's going to end up getting the sloppiest one-armed power bomb that I've ever seen. And then Shamrock is going to counter right away into the Rings of Saturn for the submission at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I actually kind of sort of dug the MMA stuff that they did here from Shamrock, but this was really sloppy as hell due to Fulton looking so green, and basically Ken Shamrock has never been the type of worker that has been able to carry anyone, let alone at this stage of his life, at this advanced age, and as a part-time wrestler who hasn't done this for full-time in over 2 decades. It's crazy. The fact that he's in as good a shape as he is and the fact that he can still go as well as he can is remarkable. This was not a good match, though, so we're going to go 2 stars on Shamrock versus Fulton. Next up, it's the X Division Championship as Ace Austin is defending the title against Trey Miguel. Trey is going to get a big takedown and mounted punches to start. Ace is going to powder, but he runs into another spear back in the ring and more mounted punches, and then Trey hits a big jumping, leaping neck breaker. Austin's going to block a tope to the floor, so Trey hits a springboard dropkick to take Ace off of the apron, and they brawl out to the floor. Ace hits the second rope moonsault out to the floor, the running one onto the second turnbuckle to the floor that Aleister Black does. He's going to get that onto Ace Austin here. Austin cheap shots, though, and sends Trey back inside, but immediately gets cut off again. And Ace Austin responds by clotheslining Miguel to the floor, and then he follows with a big space-flying tiger drop. Trey slaps Ace right in the ear here, and Austin claims that he can't hear. So Austin fights back and whips Miguel towards the ring steps, but Miguel's going to end up jumping to the top of them. So Austin just pushes him off right into the guardrail, and Ace takes over. Back inside the ring, Trey Miguel tries to basically matrix out of a couple of lariat attempts, but he's going to end up eating a stiff super kick from Ace Austin. Nice sequence that leads to Ace Austin chop blocking Miguel, and then he's going to go to work on the knee. Nice wheel kick from Ace Austin leads to the Bang-A-Rama, but Miguel's going to kick out at 2. And Ace Austin applies a modified Texas Cloverleaf here. And Ace takes the laminated Ace card that he carries around with him, and he uses it to paper cut the webbing in between Miguel's fingers. God, it's disgusting. Miguel does a ridiculous backflip into a double stomp here to start his comeback. And all I got to say is, what happened to the knee, bro? I thought that Ace Austin had just worked your knee over there. I hate that selling and that psychology. Another Miguel comeback is going to end up leading into a reverse suplex right into a dragon sleeper. And then Trey Miguel's going to follow with a nice bouncing flatliner to get a 2 count. Ace Austin's going to end up cutting him off with a springboard kick for a 2 count. But Trey Miguel hits his own comeback. He's going to make it with a 619, and he's going to go back up to the top ropes. But Ace Austin's going to hit those ropes to shake them and knock Trey Miguel in, basically crotches him up on the top rope. Ace Austin follows with a nice, innovative little head scissor takedown to bring Miguel back into the ring. And then he's going to hit the fold for the 1, 2, 3. And that's going to put Trey Miguel away. Ace Austin retains the title at 12 minutes and 55 seconds. The psychology was actually rather wonky here. Trey Miguel's selling was absolutely terrible, and these guys never got out of first gear. You know how movies have a 3-act structure? Wrestling matches can have a 3-act structure too, and it felt like this entire match was just comprised of first acts. We had 3 first acts in this 3-act structure. There was no payoff. It just felt like build. It felt like the beginning of a match, but it felt like it took 13 minutes. We're going to go 2 3/4 of a star. Alright, and next up it is a triple threat match for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Taya Valkyrie is going to be defending the title against Jordynne Grace and ODB. And to kick us off, ODB is going to get some very silly offense to start as a food truck chant actually breaks out. Grace and ODB are going to pair off, and they're going to fight to the apron. ODB is going to try to pile drive Grace right there on the apron, but Taya's going to break it up with a drop kick that sends ODB out to the floor. Taya and Grace are going to work a nice sequence that Grace caps off with a power slam, and then she's going to hit Taya with a tope out to the floor. ODB gives Grace a fall-away slam on the ramp, but Taya's going to cut her off inside the ring, and then she's going to go to work. Taya gets the Meteora in the corner on ODB, but that only gets a 2 count. Jordynne Grace watching from the ramp in the background. The camera totally catches her as she's just trying to... She's supposed to be selling the fall-away slam on the ramp, but you can totally just see her kind of propped up, watching the two laying on the ramp, watching them work. Very silly and typical triple threat style match. I hate. I think it's very unoriginal and lazy to work a triple threat match where you just pair off into twos and have a third person selling. It's very contrived. Taya is going to apply an STF, but Jordynne Grace finally re-enters the ring and breaks the move up. And then Taya's going to beat Grace down in the corner and even ends up biting her arm. Grace powers Taya up, and ODB ends up hitting her with a flying bulldog as they do a nice little tandem move. Grace fires up and plants Taya with a spine buster that gets a 2 count. German suplex with a bridge is broken up. Grace hits ODB with a painful looking top rope flying senton. But Taya ends up breaking up the pin attempt. And ODB hits Taya with a very sloppy TKO and she pins her. But Grace ends up coming off the second rope with a Vader bomb, guys. Grace Driver connects on ODB, but Johnny Bravo distracts the ref, drawing Grace's attention. And then Taya just sneaks into the ring and covers ODB. The ref turns around and Bravo holds Grace's foot while Taya steals the pinfall over ODB at 12 minutes. What the hell was this? ODB really sucked the life out of this match. She might get a nostalgia pop, but Jesus, she really ruined everything she was included in this match. Structure was basically non-existent here. The finish sucked. Grace and Taya, basically, they looked good together when they worked together. Everything else, not so much. We'll go 1 1/4 star. Actually, excuse me, 1 3/4 of a star. It wasn't as bad as 1 1/4 star, but so 1 3/4 of a star. And next up, guys, Rob Van Dam going one-on-one with Brian Cage. And Cage is distracted on his way to the ring as we have a blonde fan in the crowd. She's coincidentally wearing RVD colors. She's going to distract Cage, and Cage is attacked from behind by Rob Van Dam. Don Callis actually calls the woman Rob Van Dam's girlfriend's girlfriend. Things that make you go, RVD attacks Cage's injured arm, then hits a springboard thrust kick inside, and RVD looks ridiculously stoned, and I love it. RVD is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Cage is going to try to mount a one-armed comeback here, and he hits a big super kick, and he's going to get a... he's going to end up grabbing a steel chair, but Rob Van Dam hits the Van Daminator, busting Cage's mouth open hard way. Katie Forbes is going to end up holding the chair as RVD hits the Van Terminator. He ends up actually whiplashing himself on the bump there. Damn. RVD pins, but the ref says that there is no match. So here comes Daga, who RVD insulted earlier. He's going to hit the ring for the save. Cage is helped out, and apparently he's just signed with AEW, or that's what the rumor is. So he's probably gone. That's probably the last we'll see of him, as apparently his Impact deal is up. RVD is going to attack Daga, and we've got an impromptu match here. So next up, Rob Van Dam versus Cage has turned into Rob Van Dam versus Daga. Midlife crisis heel Rob Van Dam is ridiculously awesome here as he trolls the crowd, just beating Daga down. Daga's going to dropkick RVD out of the air on a rolling monkey flip attempt, and he ends up mounting a comeback, dropkicking RVD down to the floor. Springboard plancha follows to the floor, and back inside, Daga misses a dive from the top rope and rolls through. So RVD rolls him up for 2. Daga ends up hitting a gut buster, and then a brain buster follows for a 2 count. Katie ends up grabbing Daga's foot, and RVD wipes him out with a spinning heel kick from behind. Corkscrew leg drop connects, and then a 5-star frog splash follows and finishes at only 4 minutes. Disappointed we didn't get Cage and RVD, but it's understandable given the circumstances here. Cage also had a torn bicep, I guess. Decent enough, though, for the little 4 minutes we got. 2 stars. Alright, and next up, it is the Call Your Shot Trophy match. It's on the line as Eddie Edwards is taking on Michael Elgin. Eddie Edwards is in control of that Call Your Shot Trophy. Let's see if he can maintain possession of it. Alright, here we go, guys. They're going to set a quick pace to start, and they're going to get right into it here. Elgin ends up out on the floor, and Edwards follows with a pescado. They trade chops, and Elgin just stiffs Edwards with a really sick forearm shiver, and then he's going to expose the concrete floor by tearing up the ring mats. Eddie Edwards is going to refuse to get slammed on it, though, and he tries to mount a comeback, but Elgin is going to catch him with a forearm to the face and a tope attempt, and back to the exposed concrete we go, where Elgin is going to hit Edwards with Nikki Cross's Purge Fit move I used to call it the Twisted Sister. He's going to hit that on that exposed concrete that he exposed earlier in the bout. Elgin is going to end up cutting off another comeback attempt, and he clotheslines Edwards very stiffly in the corner, and then cross whips him into the opposite buckle. Neck vice is applied. Eddie Edwards headbutts his way out, though, but Elgin is going to end up catching him with an enziguri. Elgin tries a vertical suplex here, but Edwards counters out, and both men go over the top rope to the floor in a very nice creative spot. Very nice bump, too. Elgin charges, but Edwards gives him an overhead belly-to-belly suplex right there on the floor. And then Edwards hits a tope suicida. And somewhere Tony Schiavone just muttered, "You're right, Excalibur." Backpack stunner gets 2 for Edwards. Stiff forearm, and Elgin takes over with an overhead slam. And then Eddie counters a German suplex, and a Blue Thunder bomb connects for 2. Elgin with a spine buster to block the Boston knee party, and he hits a couple of corner charges, but Edwards is going to counter a clothesline with a rebound German, but it's fighting spirit as Elgin no-sells and immediately hits a pair of charging clotheslines and forearms, and a nice brain buster gets 2. They're trading stiff blows now, channeling their fighting spirit, but Edwards gets the best of it and follows with the Tiger Driver, but that only gets 2. Elgin gets an enziguri and a super kick to take over again, and he just sets Edwards up top and follows him with a massive avalanche German suplex. Edwards is going to kick out at 2.999. Splash Mountain Bomb connects from Elgin, but Edwards kicks out at 2.999 again. Edwards goes after the knee, but Elgin fights it off and gets a crossface. And Eddie makes the ropes to break. Buckle bomb by Elgin, and that means he's going to be setting up for the Elgin bomb, but Edwards counters it into a cradle. 1, 2, 3. Eddie Edwards wins at 20 minutes and 5 seconds. Awesome work here, and the best match of the show so far. I really dug the finish, too. Basically, I love the story of Edwards surviving and just outlasting Elgin. Great matchup. 4 stars. And keeping the show rolling right along, next up it's the no DQ match, the Battle of the Spears, as Moose takes on Rhino. I love me some Rhino, guys, and I really like this feud. I like the basis, building it over the Battle of the Spear. It's also kind of cool that you have the Battle of the Animals here. It's the Moose versus the Rhino. Another cool bit of alliteration there. Rhino cuts a promo before the match, and he's got a potty mouth, dropping the F-bombs like crazy. Moose is decked out in Macho Man Randy Savage-esque robe, headband, and gear here, and it looks absolutely sick. Loving it. Moose gets the spear almost immediately, and Rhino smartly rolls right to the floor. Moose throws him back inside and chases, but Rhino sidesteps a charge, and Moose goes over the top rope to the floor. Moose is going to get a chair, and he hits Rhino with it a few times. Suplex on the ramp is blocked, so Moose just bites Rhino and charges, and Rhino gives him a big back body drop right there on the ramp. Rhino hits Moose with the chair twice, but Moose counters a whip and sends Rhino into the ring post. Moose grabs a table from underneath the ring and bridges it from the ring apron, but Rhino's going to block a pile driver through that table. Moose charges, so Rhino gives him a pop-up powerbomb right through the table. Cover inside the ring only gets a 2 count. Rhino's going to fill the ring with plunder here, baby. Moose fights back, though, and hits Rhino with a trash can lid and follows with a big senton. And Moose is going to do the Randy Savage Macho Man elbow drop from the top rope, but he can barely balance as he does the top rope point to the heavens. Not a bad elbow drop at all, though. Moose is going to go for a second one, but Rhino cuts Moose off and hits him with a chair. Rhino is going to make a pile of chairs in the ring. He's just stacking them up, and then he's going to superplex Moose off of the top rope right onto the stack of chairs. Very nice bump. Rhino's going to introduce a second table into the match now, and he props it up into the corner. The gore is blocked, though, with a kick to the face, and a running drop kick connects once, twice. On the third attempt, he's going to eat a massive lariat, and that only gets 2. Rhino's going to gore Moose through the corner table, but Moose pulls the ref in the way simultaneously as he does the move, so all three go crashing through the table. Rhino's going to cover, and a second ref joins the match. 1, 2, but Moose kicks out at 2.5. Moose is going to get a low blow, and then he's going to follow it up with the no jackhammers needed spear for the 1, 2, 3 at 12 minutes and 5 seconds. I enjoyed this brawl here, despite Moose moving like he was a half step behind the veteran Rhino the entirety of the match. Still a good bout. Moose is still very green, and he still doesn't know how to make his big spots connect in between. He transitions very poorly still, so hopefully he can work on that. 2.25 star. The Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championship is on the line next as the North are defending the title against Willie Mack, which Rich Swann, his partner, was injured. He injured his ankle at Bash at the Brewery, so he's unable to compete. So Mack is going to have to go at it alone tonight, and I have a feeling he's about to deliver a hell of a babyface performance. I can feel it in my bones, guys. His theme music, though, is absolutely terrible and sounds just like Ace Austin's terrible dubstep theme song. Ew, kind of cringe. Trolling from Paige and Alexander to start as they tag in and out to reinforce that they can tag, and Mack, in fact, cannot. So double team on Mack to start, but he breaks a double clothesline and takes both men down with one of his own. Mack is going to catch Alexander with an enziguri, but Paige blocks the dive to the floor and distracts him so Alexander can dump him from behind. Paige in now, and he takes Mack out with a shoulder block. Alexander back in, and he and Mack fight over a suplex, and Josh Alexander finally takes over and rides a chinlock. Paige back in, and he stomps away on Mack. Mack is going to start a comeback here. Samoan drop on Josh Alexander, but a standing moonsault misses as Alexander is going to pull Paige out of the way before it can connect. Willie Mack's spinebuster on Alexander gets 2 as Paige breaks it up. Willie Mack gets the corner forearm here and the Bathical kick and follows with an exploder, but he only gets 2. Mack is going to go up top, but Paige is going to stop him, and Alexander hits a stiff punch. And they're going to run Mack into the cross corner on the opposite side, tag to Paige, and they hit the double high powerbomb followed by the double neutralizer, but Mack is going to kick out at 2.99. A double superplex is blocked as Mack fights his way out. And then Alexander's going to end up on Paige's shoulders. Kind of a contrived spot, but kind of neat at the same time as Mack hits a top rope Canadian Destroyer onto Josh Alexander. It's like a top rope super Canadian Destroyer / Doomsday Device combo. Oh my god, what a spot, what a bump. 6-star Frog Splash connects. 1, 2, but Ethan Page pulls the ref out at 2.9. Stunner for Ethan Page. Stunner is blocked, though, in the North. Stunner ends up blocked on Alexander, though, in the North. Just strike the hell out of Willie Mack here. They get the big double team assisted spinebuster, and that's going to finish at 10 minutes and 40 seconds as the North retain the titles. I like this, guys. They took a handicap match, and they made it entertaining here. I don't know how they did it. Willie Mack is incredible. I've always been a big fan of his. And Paige and Alexander are one of the best tag teams in all of professional wrestling. What a babyface performance from Willie Mack here. Like I said, they took a handicap match. They made it entertaining. One of the best handicap matches I've ever seen. 3.25 star. And now it's time for the main event, guys. The Impact World Championship is on the line as Sami Callihan defends the title against Tessa Blanchard. Will history be made tonight, guys? Callihan is going to jump Tessa during the ring introductions and hits her with a big pump kick, and he's going to follow it right up with the Cactus Special 97 pile driver, but Tessa kicks out at 2.999. What an insane start. Tessa's going to end up biting Callihan, and then she comes off the top rope with Magnum, but Sami kicks out at 2.999. What an insane start. They go face to face, and Tessa throws forearms, then gets a big flying head scissors here. Springboard dropkick puts Sami down to the floor, and a pair of tope suicidas connects. A third is blocked, but Tessa's going to recounter the counter with a Rana of her own, and then she's going to hit a somersault senton from the top rope all the way to the floor. Callihan's going to come back by taking a fan's drink and throwing it into Tessa's face, and then he rams both of her knees into the metal guardrail. Callihan snot rockets her, which Don Callis calls a Texas handkerchief, just because he's just a certifiably awesome piece of crap, isn't he? He wraps Tessa's knee around the ring post a couple of times and then applies a modified Indian deathlock. Tessa Blanchard's selling is absolutely top-notch here, and Callahan's dirtbag, vicious, sadistic heel is as good as they come. Tessa's going to try to throw forearms to come back, but Sami just clocks her with one of his own and puts her back down. Crowd starts a big chant for Tessa here. This is so great. Tessa keeps fighting, so Sami no-sells and just drives her knees right into the mat. Callahan keeps working the knee over while Tessa just sells her ass off. She's finally going to shove Sami to the floor and avoids an elbow drop, and then she gets a boot up on a charge. She slugs away to no effect, so Sami just slaps her back down. Out on the floor, Sami's going to try to powerbomb Tessa through the timekeeper's table, but she blocks, and she goes for a somersault plancha off of the ring apron. Sami Callahan catches her in mid-air, and then he finally does drive her right through the timekeeper's table with a big powerbomb. The ref starts his 10 count, which Tessa answers at 9.5, barely making it into the ring, as Callahan just spews obscenities at her. He's going to end up pulling the ring mats up outside of the ring, exposing the concrete floor, and then just dares Tessa to hit him. So she pulls herself up, and they go face-to-face, and they start trading big blows. Callahan's going to end up being the coward, though. He gouges the eyes. So Tessa gouges his eyes right back. She climbs up to the second rope, and she hits Magnum right there on the ring apron. Holy crap, what a spot. And then they both beat the count back into the ring at 9 and go face-to-face once again, trading blows again. As Tessa begs Sami to chop her harder, and Sami yells at her to stay down. Callahan attacks the knee instead and hits the ropes, but Tessa lifts him up and hits him with a big Samoan drop. Blind charge eats boot, but Tessa's going to crotch Callahan and hits a third Magnum in the corner. Cover, 1, 2, but Sami kicks out at 2.9. Another top rope Magnum misses, and Tessa's knee buckles as she hits the mat. Callahan drills her with get out of here. Sickening move. Tessa kicks out of that at 2.9, though. They're going to trade blows once again, and Callahan gets a massive release German suplex. But Tessa's going to channel her own fighting spirit and hits a big diamond cutter. 1, 2, but Sami kicks out at 2.9. Sami hits a big sit-out powerbomb and transitions it right into a stretch muffler on the injured knee. Tessa's going to fight for those ropes, but Callahan transitions into an STF, and Tessa's starting to fade, guys. She fights for the rope, but Callahan grabs her hand to prevent her from breaking the hold, so she ends up reaching her foot around, getting her foot on the rope, and breaks the hold. Nice little spot there. You don't see the wrestlers work that intently, pay attention to detail that much to do something like that. It showed the desperation of Callahan, and it showed the undeniable fighting spirit of Tessa Blanchard not giving up. Callahan grabs the world title belt here, but the ref takes it away, so Sami produces brass knuckles. And Tessa's going to be one step ahead, though. She just kicks him right in the yam bag. She low blows him. Magnum connects for a fourth time. 1, 2, but Sami Callahan kicks out again. Tessa's going to lock on a choke crossface, but Callahan fights out of the move, bites her hand, and hits another Cactus Special 97 pile driver. 1, 2, but she kicks out again. And finally, another Cactus Special is blocked, and Tessa rolls Sami up for a 2 count. She's going to throw forearms, and Sami spits on her. So they trade shots. Sami gets the bicycle kick, but Tessa comes back with a destroyer. Up to the second rope, a top rope destroyer. Hammerlock DDT connects. 1, 2, 3, guys. Tessa Blanchard did it. She's your brand new Impact Wrestling World's Heavyweight Champion, the first female to ever hold a World's Heavyweight Championship in a major wrestling promotion. 23 minutes and 50 seconds. These two knocked it out of the park and told an absolutely tremendous story. Tessa Blanchard sold her ass off to make it work. Sami Callahan was a top-tier villainous scumbag, and they pulled off an awesome match to boot that will be fondly remembered. I loved the story here. Sami, the disgusting man that just kept beating Tessa down. Tessa surviving and taking all the punishment and still going. What a story told. 4.5 stars for Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan. Alright guys, and what is the bottom line on Hard to Kill? Well, Hard to Kill was it's really a one-match show. Everyone was looking forward to Tessa and Callihan, and that's all that had to deliver, and it did just that in spades. Elgin and Edwards tore the house down and brought the goods, and Willie Mack put on one hell of a babyface performance and match with the North. It was the best handicap match I think I've ever seen. Those 3 matches alone, they made this a show that I have to go thumbs up for Hard to Kill. I enjoyed it. The undercard lacking just a little bit, but Impact Wrestling is an awesome, phenomenal alternative to the other wrestling programs out there. They've done a great job of rehabbing their product lately, and look at to the point they're at now with Tessa Blanchard being the first female World's Heavyweight Champion. Let's see how they follow up with it. I'm excited, guys. It was a great show, and we hope that you thought that this episode of J to Z TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown was an awesome show as well. If you did think that, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Show us a little bit of love if you do think that we deserved it. And hey, hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with everything that the J to Z TV family is up to. I mean, we're producing awesome content all the time here, guys. And hey, you don't want to miss the next time we're here in the J to Z TV Pro Wrestling Control Center breaking down another major wrestling event. I've been your host, J to Z TV Dad, and I will catch you down that aisle and through those ropes next time. Thanks for watching.